Alright, what's going on everybody? This week I'm going to be bringing you guys the best trade from the week. This trade gave us a 1 to 4 in the signal group, and I know it's going to be providing a lot of value for you guys. I show you guys how I find the direction on the higher time frames and how we get the entries on the lower time frames. So there's a lot of sauce. So let's get right into it. You guys are going to see how we caught this trade literally from A to Z. So let's delete everything and start from scratch, right? So we're going to delete all this, remove 4 drawings. And this is what I was presented with in the graph when I come to sit down to do my analysis, right? It's around 8:30, 8:50, like right around here. So the first things first, guys, is I mark my highs and lows of days. So if we're trading right here on Wednesday, my high and low of day is going to be coming from Tuesday, which is one previous trading day than the one that we're trading from, right? So our high and low of day is going to be the highest and lowest points between Frankfurt and New York session. So this is the low of day right here, the lowest point in this session, actually this point right here. So it's important to zoom in and actually get the most specific area, because notice how I was a little bit zoomed out and I marked this area here, but just zooming in a little bit more, you can see that this is the actual low of day right here. So low of day, and then we have the high of day up here, right? So we have the high of day up here. And then a little trick is, and it's also one of the key rules, is that it cannot be a price out of session. Notice how this is the actual lowest part of the day, but it's not in session, so it's not valid. It has to be in the session. So this is the highest point in the session, lowest point in the sessions, and Asia session does not count. It's between Frankfurt, London, pre-New York, and New York, right? So now after this, I mark my previous high and previous low of day, which is 2 previous trading days than the one we're trading from. So it's gonna, if we're trading on Wednesday, it's gonna be the highest and lowest points from Monday, right? So now we just mark this as the previous high of day right here, this highest point right here, previous high of day. And then now we mark this right here, previous low of day right here. And then just real quick, off of just marking this, you guys can see how pretty much Asia used this area here, and then London used the low of day. These are very, very specific areas that the market respects. And when they're in confluence with the supply or demand, they're very, very valid zones. Not valid zones, high probability zones. So after we do this, now we need to do a top-down analysis and identify what's going on in the market, right? So if we go on the daily, we take off this session-based indicator. What we're working with on the daily is this. We could identify that price is having a pullback into, and it seems like an area of demand here, right? So we have this area of demand on the daily, this area right here. Pretty much nothing stopping price until this area here. And then if we go to H4, we could identify this right here. Notice how the daily and H4 are in confluence. So this area right here is a high probability area of demand that's going to get like touched at some point. And then notice this is the key right here. Notice how we have this void to fill right here with these targets down here, this strong area of demand right here that created the push to the upside, right? So keeping in mind that we have this void with these targets down here, we're looking for sells on the higher time frame. Notice how price is giving us a pullback. This is where the pullback is. This is where our target is for the pullback. So now we go to H1, a time frame even lower, and this is where the sauce comes in. So notice this. Notice we have these equal lows right here, equal lows with the void to fill. Whenever you see equal highs or equal lows, very likely price is gonna take this area out. Price does not respect this, right? So check this out. Price does not respect this. This is not a valid area of supply right here. This, majority of the time, what will happen is this right here. You'll see price break the equal highs, give the distribution, and then pull back to the previous contract candle that created the push like this. So whenever you see equal highs or equal lows, that is not a valid area. So keeping that in mind with the void to fill and the demands on the higher time frames down here, this is very likely that we're looking for sells and we're going to break past this area. So now we go at 10:15 and let's turn on our session-based indicator, right? So this is where the sauce comes in here, guys. This is literally sauce right here. All right, so on H1, check this out, guys. Notice how price pretty much is pulling back and touching this H1 supply right here. So you have an H1 supply right here. H1 supply in confluences with the lows of days, previous low of day, low and high of day, right? So price is pulling into this area and reacting off of this area. And then you can see that we have our targets down here. So everything is pointing that we're looking for sells, right? Then we go to 10:15, we turn on our session-based indicators. And then this is just even more confirmation. What did Asia do? Asia touched that H1 supply to the exact pip pretty much. And you can see that's where the volume is coming in from. If Asia pulled back into the previous low of day, high of day area. And then what did Asia do? Asia created this area of supply on M15 that's in confluence with the highs and lows of days. And then literally as soon as we're just coming to trade here, we could identify that Frankfurt, London tapped into this area of supply, and that's where the volume is coming in from, right? Notice how this movement is coming from this area of supply right here. So everything is pointing that we're looking for sells. Our previous sessions are using areas of supplies and creating new areas of supply. Notice how pre-New York is setting up New York with this M15 supply right here. So we mark this like this, M15, and then now we go one time frame even lower, right? So now on M5, what do we have? On M5, this is sauce right here, guys. M5 is the same area of supply to the exact pip as M15. Notice if I go back to M15, it's this previous contract candle wick is literally at the exact same pip. So M5, M15 in confluence, and then if we go to M1, one time frame even less, notice how we have the M5, M15, and M1 in confluence right here. So this is a super high probability area of supply to take the sells from. So now that we have this area like this, honestly, I sent the sell limit right here. I honestly sent the sell limit with the parameters looking like this. That trade would have looked like this, but now you're gonna see why we took an entry down here, because price did not pull up into this area. So I sent the sell limit, but seeing that price did not react off this area, we didn't pull back into that area. You'll see where I sent the sell limit. So let's let price play out, and then you'll see right here. All right, so check this out, guys. Notice how when price opens, New York session opens, price pretty much creates this area of supply right here on M1, and then if we go to M5 right here, notice how it's M5 and M1 in confluence, right? So M5 right here, let me mark it like this better and take off that box so you guys can see it clear. So M5 and then M1 right here, M1 right here. So we have these two time frames in confluence. We had the sell limit originally placed here, waiting for price to pull back up in here. And then when we see that price creates this M5, M1 supply, and then we have this, literally we're tapping into this area, I sent a sell now, a market execution right here. So I sent a market execution like this. These were the parameters. 6.3 with a 10 pip stop loss. So this is how the trade looked like this. Let me mark this a little bit lower. This was our trade right here. So notice at first we had a sell limit placed, right? We had our sell limit placed up here, and then seeing how price did not pull back up into this area and price created a new area of supply in our session, I sent the market execution right here. So sell limit placed originally, and then when price created a new area of supply, I sent a market execution because I couldn't set the sell limit because it was happening as it was, like I sent it as it was happening, right? So now we just erase this and watch what price does. Actually do it on the M15 or M5. All right, so let's do this on M5 and watch what price does. So, all right, notice, what does price do? Price almost hits our final take profit here, but price pulls back into this area of supply again in confluence with the low of day. And then from this area, you're gonna see that this is where the movement continues from. So watch, check this out. So the trade ends up hitting the final take profit 1 to 4 in London. Watch this. Right here. Boom, right there. So you guys are seeing how pretty much we find the direction down here. We get our entries on the lower time frames. So seeing how price created a new area supply in our session, I sent the market execution and we took this trade right here. Notice how from our entry point, that is where the whole volume came in from. Price pulled back to the exact entry point later on, and then you can see that that's where the movement continued to the downside. All right, so you guys are seeing week after week how I show you guys my trades and how we're able to catch these setups with the same exact steps. Week after week, I don't change anything. I just follow my strategy. And if you guys watch these videos, you guys will be able to pick up on the strategy for free. So I hope you guys like this video. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.